Tonight, CBC News has learned charges have been laid in connection with the deadly wrong-way crash on Canada's busiest highway.
Oh my God!
The passenger in that U-Haul van chased by police was out on bail.
He shouldn't be out on bail. Multiple times, you shouldn't be out on bail.
What we've learned about the alleged robbery that sparked the dangerous pursuit. Ontario speeds up getting booze into corner stores.
Just having the opportunity to grab it wherever makes sense.
But it comes with a multi-million-dollar price tag. Where do you want to grow old? The overwhelming answer, at home.
Your independence means so much to everyone.
We break down the challenges and potential solutions to help Canadian seniors age in place.
From CBC News, this is The National with Erica Johnson.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Ian is away. We're learning new details tonight about the cascade of events that led to a high-speed police pursuit the wrong way down a busy Ontario highway. And now charges have been laid. Court documents obtained by CBC News show the passenger in that U-Haul van running from police has now been charged with robbing a liquor store. It was that alleged crime that led to a huge police chase, ending in a head-on collision. 2 grandparents and an infant were killed. Our Thomas Dagla has followed this story since the tragic crash and has more on what we've learned about the accused.
Oh my God!
In that U-Haul van racing down the highway in the wrong direction, 2 men were fleeing Durham police.
There's a psycho in a truck driving the wrong way.
The high-speed chase ending in a fatal crash that killed 3-month-old Aditya Vivan and his 2 grandparents. The van driver also died, and now CBC News has learned his passenger is facing charges stemming from the incident that led to this chaos. Newly obtained court records show Manpreet Singh Gill is charged with a robbery at an LCBO liquor store, possession of up to $5,000 in stolen merchandise, and several counts related to breach of probation. He and the driver were both out on bail at the time of the crash.
If he's out on bail, he shouldn't be out on bail. Multiple times, you shouldn't be out on bail. You continue to do the same thing.
It was a close call for Tammy Savalas. She and her husband were traveling right next to that transport truck as it slammed into the van.
He was coming right at us. That was my perspective, that all I saw was headlights. And he was just flying. We didn't have any warning besides those westbound police.
Investigators say it all started with a robbery at this liquor store. Here's what Ontario Provincial Police were told in radio communications that evening.
Durham advising there was a male inside the LCBO. He tried to rob the store. He pulled a knife on an off-duty officer.
Ontario's police watchdog is looking into the chase and deadly crash, but the new charges provide fresh insight into what police allege happened. Durham's police chief hasn't said, even when asked.
Could you clarify for us what happened in the LCBO that day?
Those events are not separated. Those are one event that happened, and I'm going to let the SIU complete their investigation.
And Thomas, the whereabouts of Gill, the van passenger, are not entirely clear right now. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, he was scheduled to appear in court yesterday for a bail hearing on these new charges. He didn't show up. He may very well still be in hospital. He was taken to hospital after that crash with serious injuries. His condition now is not known. And we also know from previous court records that in recent years he was charged with a series of offenses, including being in possession of a stolen vehicle and stealing from another liquor store in the Toronto area. He's again expected to appear in court in mid-June by video link on these new charges for bail. Erica.
Thank you, Thomas. Thomas Dagla in Toronto. The truck driver responsible for the tragic Humboldt Broncos bus crash has been ordered out of the country. Jaskarat Singh Sidhu, an Indian national, is on parole after being sentenced to 8 years for the 2018 crash in Saskatchewan, which killed 16 people and injured 13. It could take months or years before he's deported. His lawyer says he plans to fight the decision on humanitarian grounds. Israel has received a clear order from the International Court of Justice to stop the military assault of the Gazan city of Rafah. Israel has already said, quote, no power on earth can stop it, and the court has no way to enforce the order. But Sasha Petrusik explains it does add to the political pressure.
Please be seated.
Judges at the International Court of Justice say Gaza's plight is disastrous, their order direct.
Israel must immediately halt its military offensive and any other action in the Rafah governorate.
Palestinians welcome the ruling.
Israel has to abide by the decisions and the demands from the ICJ.
But it's not that simple. Though the order is legally binding, the court has no way to enforce it, and Israel has vowed to carry on. Cabinet ministers call the court's stance anti-Semitic. A statement from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel is defending itself, consistent with its moral values and in compliance with international law. The outrage is shared on the streets of Tel Aviv, where the attack by Hamas militants on October 7th is ample justification.
The fact that they're even having this conversation is quite ludicrous, to be honest.
Within hours of the ruling, bombs were dropping on Rafah once again. America has to pressure Israel, says this man, but it won't. The U.S. responded by pointing to its long opposition to Israel's Rafah offensive. As for Canada,
the ICJ's proposals are binding, and we expect everyone to follow them as a matter of international law.
Even if Israel ignores it, observers say the pressure has now grown significantly.
Israel will not be able to remain a part of the democratic world if it will go on ignoring the most important institutions of the international community.
And not just this one. Another tribunal, the International Criminal Court, is considering arrest warrants for Netanyahu and his defense minister for alleged war crimes, accusations he has dismissed. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News, Toronto.
Pro-Palestinian protesters at the University of Toronto encampment have been given a new deadline to leave and a warning.
It's a notice of trespass. Okay.
The university says it will take all legal steps to clear out the protesters if they aren't gone by Monday, and also threaten students with fines and suspension. It comes after protesters dismissed the university's offer to set up a committee to study their demands as too vague. People in Ontario will soon be able to buy alcohol in a lot more places. Premier Doug Ford and the provincial government is rolling out an expansion on booze sales starting this summer. And as Nisha Patel reports, it comes a year and a half earlier than scheduled.
For this small convenience store, selling beer and wine is a big opportunity.
I think definitely there will be a lot more foot traffic that will be coming looking for beer. So yeah, I think there will be a boost in the sales as well.
A more open marketplace is one reason Ontario's premier says the province is accelerating its expansion of where alcohol can be sold.
Our plan will create new growth opportunities for local brewers, wineries, retailers, and small businesses. It's going to give people more choice and convenience.
Starting August 1st, grocery stores in Ontario, which already sell beer and wine, can sell ready-to-drink cocktails. By the end of October, convenience stores, gas stations, and big box stores will join the mix. That could add up to as many as 8,500 new alcohol retailers.
Just having the opportunity to grab it wherever makes sense.
I think it's making it too accessible. I actually appreciate the laws on things being in separate stores.
Quebec and Newfoundland already allow beer to be sold in convenience stores, while Alberta is looking into the possibility of expanding liquor sales. But to bring in these changes, Ontario will have to pay up to $225 million in taxpayer money to end a 10-year agreement that had given the privately owned beer store a near monopoly. In exchange, the beer store will keep hundreds of locations open and maintain its recycling program.
You're subsidizing the large brewers on their recycling. I mean, that makes it very unpalatable.
Local beer makers, though, toasted the move.
The fact that beer will be in big box, beer will be in Costco, beer will be in corner stores, it's great. More distribution, the better for us craft brewers.
With the hopes that this will brew up more business. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Some daycare providers are threatening to pull out of the federal government's national child care program. Demand for spaces is soaring, and daycare operators say costs are too. Marina von Stackelberg shows us the strain on providers and parents.
Sherry Rieger's daughters are on 15 childcare waitlists. The family, like many across Canada, is struggling to find a licensed provider.
Some of them are saying that we won't have a spot for 2 or 3 years.
It's been 2 years since the federal government signed its last deal with provinces to spend tens of billions of dollars to create more childcare spots and eventually cut fees parents pay to $10 a day. Daycares have overwhelmingly taken part, and that has caused growing pains.
As childcare has become more affordable, we hear from parents that want to access it, that are having trouble finding spaces.
Providers say they are struggling to operate the spots they already have. The funding hasn't kept up with inflation and the need to pay childcare workers a livable wage.
We do need to take into consideration those costs, and those will only increase as the demand goes up.
As part of the deal, daycares also can't raise their fees, an option they had in the past to offset costs. Some private childcare centres in Ontario who can access those public dollars have threatened to pull out of the program altogether unless they get more money.
The funding will have to rise across the whole sector, but it is not coincidental that this game of chicken is not being played by anybody other than the for-profit sector.
It's hard to know exactly how many childcare spaces are needed. Each daycare has its own waitlist, and many families are on multiple. But the latest data from Statistics Canada shows half of Canadian families now report struggling to find a spot.
The funding is great. It's a great incentive to get us moms back out to work. But again, if I can't access it, what is the point?
To add to Sherry's anxiety in finding daycare, she's expecting her third child this fall. That baby doesn't have a name yet, but is already on a wait list. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
A change to the RCMP's dress code is being criticized by some Indigenous communities. Ribbon skirts, symbols of identity and strength, will be an optional part of the ceremonial uniform. Cameron McIntosh shows us the praise and the pushback.
As Canadian a symbol as it gets, the RCMP's red surge. This week, the dress uniform got an addition. A ribbon skirt featuring 4 colors representing 4 directions, after a push by female Indigenous members and elders, including Judy Pelly.
It really signifies how we have pride in our womanhood, in our, being matriarchs of our communities.
Many Indigenous nations see the ribbon skirt as a symbol of identity. For the RCMP to adopt it is upsetting to some, due to the role of red-clad Mounties in colonizing Western Canada and residential schools. At this march in Winnipeg for residential school survivors, strong feelings.
We need to focus on the justice and the truth and reconciliation, which I don't believe the RCMP has done to date.
I think that's an insult to our people, because they're the ones that's not just the way.
But not everyone here feels that way.
Represents the woman and how we're just growing stronger.
The push for an RCMP skirt came after RCMP officers gave a ribbon skirt they made to a young Saskatchewan girl shamed at school for wearing hers. Pelly is that girl's grandmother.
It gave us a sense of pride for who we are and as women.
In a lengthy statement, the RCMP said it consulted Indigenous staff and advisors. The RCMP also permits Indigenous officers to take an oath on an eagle feather and wear Métis sashes. Sandra Delarond has consulted with the RCMP on issues including missing and murdered women and girls. She gets the concern, but also sees it like this.
The RCMP doesn't own the ribbon skirt. It's owned by the members that wear it.
The RCMP says there are about 300 Indigenous members of the force eligible to wear the skirt, as conversation around it underscores the complexities of reconciliation. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Tonight, Louisiana's governor signed a controversial new law designating 2 commonly used abortion pills as dangerous controlled substances. It's believed to be a first of its kind. If someone is found to be in possession of the drugs without a prescription, they could face fines or even prison time. Louisiana already bans abortions in most cases. Doctors say the move will make it harder to prescribe the pills, which are also used for treating miscarriages and inducing labor. A landmark settlement in the U.S. could change the landscape of college sports. It paves the way for future and former college athletes to be paid, a change many say is long overdue. Allison Northcott unpacks the new agreement and what's still up in the air.
Team Clark connects!
Some of the biggest names in sports started here in college.
Turns up the middle.
U.S. college athletes have long been considered amateurs, but that could be about to change. A landmark settlement and a class action lawsuit would see student athletes paid directly.
When we briefed them on the deal, they were just kind of blown away.
This attorney sued the NCAA, alleging it violated antitrust laws by restricting athletes' access to compensation. The NCAA denied wrongdoing.
For 10 years, the athletes will be entitled to share revenue, including the lucrative broadcast, ticket sales, and media deals that the schools and conferences have.
The settlement includes $2.8 billion in back pay for thousands of former college athletes. The NCAA called the settlement an important step in the continuing reform of college sports that will provide benefits to student athletes and provide clarity in college athletics.
It's the biggest development since the NCAA was formed in 1906. We have coaches that have $70 million to $100 million contracts, athletic directors, $1 million plus contracts. The athletes who generate this wealth get $0. That's what this is fundamentally about.
But there are still unknowns, like how the money would be divided between sports, if men's and women's teams would get equal compensation, and whether Canadian athletes in the U.S. would be eligible. International student visas restrict opportunities for contracts with sponsors, which their American teammates have been able to do since 2021.
If Canadian athletes cannot, much like name, image, and likeness, we might start to see some Canadian athletes choosing to stay home.
The settlement still needs to be approved by a judge. If it is, athletes could be getting paid as soon as the 2025 fall semester. Allison Northcott, CBC News, Washington.
Documentary filmmaker Morgan Spurlock, best known for his 2004 Oscar-nominated film Super Size Me, has died.
The double quarter pounder with cheese meal. I think I'm gonna have to go supersize.
For the film, Spurlock ate only McDonald's for 30 days to illustrate the harms of a fast food diet. The year following its release, McDonald's scrapped the supersize option. His other work touched on issues like corporate power and the U.S. war in Afghanistan. He died of cancer at his home in New York. He was 53. A shipping route serving the Northwest Territories is once again being disrupted as a major river runs dry.
What we're seeing here is very low rainfall, very high temperatures.
What's behind the record low levels? A bus driver is honored for his quick thinking that saved 23 children.
Man, you're a foot away from that truck.
And a diver's prehistoric discovery.
I started fanning it, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger.
We're back in 2. One of the most crucial waterways in Canada's north is in deep trouble. The Mackenzie River is a vital artery for communities which rely on barges to deliver supplies. For some, that's now impossible. The river is fed by Great Slave Lake, Canada's deepest. But Juanita Taylor shows us it's the lowest ever recorded this time of year.
What we're seeing now is totally unprecedented.
Like nearly everyone in the Daycare region of the Northwest Territories, Dieter Kazon has never seen the Mackenzie River this low, ever.
How is it affecting the fish, the water that we drink, the birds, the animals?
Kazon monitors the water cycles on the river for the Lilliquay First Nation in Fort Simpson.
Everyone's worried.
And it's not just the Daycho. The Mackenzie River drains Great Slave Lake, which is the deepest in Canada. The lake bed by Yellowknife now exposed.
What we're seeing here is these extreme low water levels are the result of extreme drought over the last 2.5 years.
Water levels in Great Slave Lake have dropped over a meter, the lowest it's been since 1934 when records began, causing the cancellation of barge shipments for 2 communities.
Very low rainfall, very high temperatures. We've seen a lot of evaporations. We've seen a lot of water loss, and it hasn't been replenished.
The drastic decline in water levels is having a major impact on this summer's shipping season. Barges canceled for 2 communities. That's going to delay major building projects in the Sahtu.
It's going to have a big effect on us. Yeah, probably throw us back about a year.
Now, the territorial government is working with Indigenous governments to figure out a plan.
The Mackenzie River is our highway. If a large major city like Toronto had the 401 close, imagine the disruption and imagine the costs. Now, put yourself in remote, rural, Indigenous communities, and that's even amplified.
People here want to know when the water will return. The hydrologist says that will take record amounts of rain. And it could happen eventually, but not soon enough for the communities struggling now. Juanita Taylor, CBC News, Yellowknife.
Seniors looking for an alternative to long-term care are finding unique ways to build community.
When somebody says, "Barb, supper's ready," oh, good.
We show you the different ways some are choosing to live together.
You have your independence. Your independence means so much to everyone.
And the U.S. government is going after mega entertainment company Live Nation.
Ticketmaster ought to look in the mirror and say, "I'm the problem. It's me."
Eli Glasner explains why they're now hoping to break it up. The National breaks down the stories shaping our world next. A Nova Scotia school bus driver is being recognized as a community hero for his quick action when a tractor trailer fell onto the highway in front of him. Last week, we told you about the crash near Halifax. With 23 students on board, Terry Brown stopped the bus that was going 100 kilometers an hour in just 6 seconds to avoid the truck.
Everybody's calling me a hero. I don't feel like a hero. I just feel like I've done my job the best I could do it, and the outcome was, what I was hoping it would be.
Brown was presented with a Community Hero Award by Southland, the South School Bus Company, and his employer, as well as a check for $500. Incredibly, no one was injured on the bus or truck. The Liberal government has been trying to sell its budget to younger Canadians, and a new poll suggests it might be starting to have an impact. Millennials and Gen Z votes could make up close to half of the electorate in the next election. And as Ashley Burke shows us, the Prime Minister and members of his caucus are trying to up their social media game to reach them.
Just try to come around further away from the camera.
These Gen Z staffers work for Employment Minister Randy Boissonnault, but in this case, they're calling the shots.
And then am I smiling or am I just walking by you?
I'm going to say with confidence you're walking away.
They're directing social media videos that could hit with millennials and Gen Z like this.
I'm working late.
The Liberals have heard from young Canadians they want authentic politicians. This is one way they're trying to win trust.
Got to have some videos that are fun, that maybe are edgy, but that also say to people, I'm real.
It's all part of a new push to reach younger voters. Mary Ng bought her own drone to bring on international trips. MP Nate Erskine-Smith just hired a filmmaker to produce his content.
It's answering the questions that they have, speaking to the issues that they have on platforms that they are on.
Trudeau's Liberals need to win the support of Canada's largest voting demographic or risk losing the next election.
Right now, the Liberals are in the worst position they've been in with millennial voters and Gen Z voters.
That support, he says, drifted to the Conservatives, who are reaching them where they get their news, on social media, and talking about their issues.
You want to be able to afford rent? Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre.
In the last year, the Liberals have pivoted with housing announcements and a budget focused on younger Canadians.
To ensure fairness for every generation.
But how do you get that message to younger voters who don't watch traditional news?
We got to meet Canada's Deputy Prime Minister.
Talk to content creators, including Danica Nelson. She says creators like her with thousands of followers are a way to reach this generation.
They want to meet people where they are, and they know that people are on social media.
Wait, don't scroll. This is important.
The Prime Minister's office is also sharpening its social media game, doing more interviews with podcasters and making more videos explaining policy.
You may have heard of the capital gains tax.
That video getting millions of views, but whether that translates into trust and votes is too early to tell. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. We found different ways seniors are using to avoid care homes and age in place.
Turned a cold apartment building into a warm community.
But first, Canadians say yes to the U.S. government's vow to break up Live Nation and cut ticket prices.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, destroy the monopoly.
Ticketmaster. Wah, wah.
Washington says it means business.
This illegal conduct means higher prices.
Entertainment reporter Eli Glasner is here to break down the coming battle and what it could mean for fans. So, Eli, how did we get to this point where the U.S. Department of Justice is trying to break up Ticketmaster and Live Nation?
So you might remember back in 2022, tickets for the Taylor Swift tour went on sale. Ticketmaster is the exclusive seller. There was massive demand, and essentially the system buckled under the weight of the fans. The system crashed. There was a lot of frustration, and Taylor herself took Ticketmaster to task, saying, and I quote, "I'm not going to make excuses for anyone because we asked them multiple times if they could handle this kind of demand, and we were assured they could." It's truly amazing that 2.4 million people got tickets, but it really pisses me off, and that's Taylor's words, that a lot of them felt like they went through several bear attacks to get them. That is Taylor describing dealing with Ticketmaster like being attacked by a bear. Now, this led to Ticketmaster executives being hauled before Congress and senators quoting Swift song lyrics and the CEO apologizing.
May I suggest respectfully that Ticketmaster ought to look in the mirror and say, I'm the problem. It's me.
Senator, we absolutely agree there are a lot of problems in this industry, and as the leading player, we have an obligation to do better.
But behind the scenes, the Department of Justice had already launched an investigation 2 years looking at how Live Nation leverages its position in the industry. Now, it is somewhat ironic since it was the DOJ and here in Canada, our very own Competition Bureau, that allowed the merger between Live Nation and Ticketmaster to take place, and that was back in 2010.
So then, what exactly is the Department of Justice and 30 states accusing them of doing?
Essentially using their power and dominance in the industry to lock venues into exclusive contracts, pressuring artists and intimidating other concert promoters. The DOJ says that Live Nation controls 60% of concert promotions in the United States and 80% of primary ticketing. As the Attorney General said yesterday, fans should be able to go to concerts without a monopoly standing in their way. The DOJ is saying, as you mentioned, it's time for Live Nation and Ticketmaster to be broken up. The lawsuit described what Live Nation itself has touted as its flywheel business model, charging customer fees, attracting artists, and then, as the DOJ alleges, locking them into long-term deals. Now, I should point out Live Nation refutes just about everything that the Department of Justice is alleging. They say the lawsuit against Live Nation and Ticketmaster won't reduce ticket prices or service fees, that artist teams set prices for their tickets while the venues set and keep the majority of ticket fees, not Ticketmaster.
Okay, well, all that said, the big question is, if they succeed, will it actually mean cheaper ticket prices and better access, Eli?
You know, I don't want to frustrate fans, but the most honest answer is maybe. Some experts say that Live Nation's size allows it to take less of a profit margin than other concert promoters, and that it's mainly artists that are driving prices. So if Live Nation and Ticketmaster were broken up, artists could charge customers more to make up the difference, since smaller concert promoters would take more profit. Now, others say extra ticket fees, convenience fees, service fees. That is part of the ticket price bloat. So with less power and more competition, those fees could shrink. Now, it's interesting to look at Europe, where they have legislation about open ticketing. That means multiple companies can sell tickets for the same tour, which is why you may have heard about Taylor Swift fans flying to see her in Paris. Now, others I spoke to say even on its own, Ticketmaster has too much power, and they're calling on the government to go further, breaking up Ticketmaster itself into smaller regional companies.
Okay, in the meantime, while this suit unfolds, what can people do, if anything, to score cheaper tickets?
First, be patient. These kind of antitrust lawsuits take a very long time. It could be fascinating. We can get a whole new understanding and look at the inner workings of Live Nation. But the change, even if it comes, is far down the road. So if you can't afford a flight to Paris, which isn't exactly a way to save money, we spoke with a personal finance expert, Barry Choi. He says the right kind of credit card could be an advantage.
The only way around Ticketmaster is to hope that your credit card provider has exclusive access with some concerts. For example, RBC recently announced they had partnered for the Taylor Swift tour, so you could get early access. That doesn't mean you're going to get super low fares. It just means you get better access to tickets. American Express membership rewards, same thing. If you're an American Express cardholder, you get access to American Express experiences. You know, the best thing you can do really is to see if you can offset your costs with any loyalty points or say cashback rewards that you may have.
Interesting suggestions. Remembering too, though, that those credit cards all come with sizable annual fees. So what are the artists saying?
You know, that's what's interesting. Some of the most vocal musicians yesterday, when this was announced, people who took on Ticketmaster like Bruce Springsteen, Taylor Swift, Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam, they didn't say anything. Now, I've spoken to other musicians who were afraid to go on the record for fear of reprisal. And others have told me they're worried that the lack of competition is actually hurting the creation of new artists. They have less access to venues, to independent concert promoters. That means less new music, less new voices. Now, some in the industry are looking at simpler solutions. Our colleagues at Marketplace spoke to Richard Jones. He's the manager of the Pixies last summer. In the past, they actually went around Ticketmaster selling their own tickets, and he has an idea to put more affordable tickets on the market.
We would like to see consumer law which makes reselling tickets at a profit illegal. It'll remove the abuse of the system, and there'll be more tickets to go around at the correct price.
Although others say there's always going to be a secondary market, whether it's legal or not.
Yes, there will. Where there's a will, there's a way. So the U.S. is taking action. What about here in Canada? What are Canadian authorities doing?
Well, we reached out to the Canadian Competition Bureau. They said they're aware of what's happening in Washington, that they work closely with their international counterparts, but they also work confidentially. So they, at this time, cannot confirm whether or not they're conducting their own investigation. I will say, Erica, a lot of the artists that I spoke to say the Competition Bureau should follow Washington's lead.
Eli, thanks for this. Our senior entertainment reporter, Eli Glasner, thanks for breaking it all down.
My pleasure.
Next, some seniors are finding different ways to live together and avoid long-term care.
You can't be stuck in the way you've always done things.
What it could look like to grow older. Next. How more and more older Canadians find options for staying at home.
Think you can't be stuck in the way you've always done things.
From sharing homes to forming communities with neighbors facing the same challenges.
You have your independence. Your independence means so much to everyone.
It's called aging in place, and when it works, everybody benefits. Christine Birak takes us through those options and shows us why they're catching on.
Never before has the number of people nearing retirement been so high. By 2030, almost a quarter of Canadians will be over 65.
Since the pandemic, surveys show 96% of older adults would do everything they can to avoid living in institutions. Many are afraid of long-term care, and vacancies are up in expensive retirement homes too. What most older adults say they want is to age in place, but they've got either too much house or too little support. So what is aging in place, and what are some ways to make it work?
As people age, they want to continue to be able to live their lives as they have. And so aging in place is a part of that, living in the community that they know, having access to services and support in their neighborhood.
One way of doing that is co-living, friends or acquaintances buying a house together. In 2018, we met London, Ontario's Golden Girls. Phyllis, Barb, and Mary pooled their money to buy this house. 5 years on, we wanted to ask, how's it going? Turns out, Mary's leaving to go help out her family.
Hello.
Hi, Phyllis?
Yes.
Christine,
Come on in.
Nice to meet you.
Co-living isn't something Barb Coughlin and Phyllis Brady ever imagined when they were younger. Now in their 70s,
When somebody says, Barb, supper's ready. Oh, good.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Oh.
I paid way more in rent than I pay per month now to be here.
Imagine that.
That was just rent. That wasn't anything else. Shows where the money goes. So
they share all food and home expenses. Receipts go in the bowl.
at the end of each month, we have a finance meeting.
Cleaning and daily cooking duties all shared too.
Who's the best cook?
Oh, I'm not going to answer that.
It's all very cordial, well organized, and caring.
So the questions people ask are, what do you do when you're feeling grumpy, or how do you manage when you have a fight?
The answer? You have to be flexible.
It's important to cooperate, to listen to what other people are saying, and try to find a solution.
Of course, co-living isn't for everyone. Another idea Canadians are exploring to help them age in place is called NORC, Naturally Occurring Retirement Communities. Instead of moving, NORC programs bring services to buildings or neighborhoods where already 30% or more of the residents are older adults. So let's go check one out.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
About 70% of the residents living in this Toronto building are over 65. During the pandemic, the Birthday Girl reached out to UHN, a hospital network, to ask about their fledgling NORC program. Christine Doyle moved here decades ago. At 84, she lives on her own, with a little help.
NORC says, what do you need in your building? Not what we can give you, but we'll find out what we can give you. But tell us what you need.
More social events, medical supports like foot care, paramedics visits, vaccine clinics, and exercise programs, all aided by NORC coordinators run by residents.
One of my favorite quotes from one of the residents is how this NORC program has turned a cold apartment building into a warm community.
Dr. Howard Abrams is director of UHN Open Lab that's researching and running the program. His team mapped out nearly 2,000 potential NORCs in Ontario alone, housing about 217,000 older adults. Research shows NORCs could also streamline publicly funded home care services. Personal support workers could spend less time driving and more time with clients.
People are better supported and feel healthier in their homes where they've said they want to be. They're not going to end up in emergency rooms as often.
Hello.
Hey, Mary.
Oh, come on in.
Mary Vigro says affordability has always been top of mind. Now 87, she lives alone, but she's not lonely.
Quite honestly, since NORC came, I have spoken to more people in the building.
When she fell and broke her hip inside her apartment, one of her neighbors noticed something was off.
I had not taken in my newspaper. I was sort of dehydrating. And so she got in touch with the custodian, and they opened the door, and fortunately, she saved my life.
With all the benefits and a silver wave looming, it's worth asking, why aren't there more NORCs?
Evidence would suggest that it might be worthwhile to consider it.
McMaster professor Lori Letts leads research programs in this apartment building for a Nork group called Oasis. She co-authored a study that found Norks can create an opportunity for governments to support healthy aging in their communities. Letts adds Nork programs aren't costly to run, and they empower residents with a sense of purpose. June Southall says she never did an exercise class in her life until she was 88.
You have your independence. Your independence means so much to everyone, and you're able to have that.
I think you can't be stuck in the way you've always done things. You need to be open to there's more than one way to do something.
While long-term care will be there for those requiring 24-hour care, many are working to age in place as long as they possibly can.
Christine, could governments move towards an aging-in-place model?
It would be a big shift. Experts we spoke with said supporting these naturally occurring retirement communities could really streamline services, bring them to where older adults are. Dr. Abrams said it seems kind of obvious. Already wait lists for beds in long-term care and assisted living are long. The federal government is giving provinces money to help Canadians age with dignity. Residents we spoke with said Norks can be the future of aging in place. The model is common in parts of the U.S., but politicians here have to get behind the idea to make it widespread.
Now, you spent some time in those naturally occurring retirement communities. What are your impressions of that as an option, and how do you go about creating one?
Before this, I hadn't really thought about where I want to be when I get older. I liked the co-living situation with the Golden Girls, but it takes patience and cooperation. And the Nork reminded me a bit of a university dorm, complete with a party. You could really feel the closeness between residents. I couldn't believe Mary's 87 years old, living on her own, but help is all around her. As for that question about how you create a Nork in Ontario, you can check out norkinnovationcentre.ca and click on Let's Connect. Canada also has a National Institute on Aging, the NIA. It did a report titled Unleashing the Power of Norks. It's a great read and great information in there as well.
Christine Birak, thank you.
You're welcome.
In less than 2 weeks, Canadians will be among those celebrating the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Adrian has been overseas working on some special coverage for The Breakdown. Here's a quick look.
The Canadians didn't have a name for it then, but they knew to look for it. One house that stood taller than the others on Juno Beach. It's there in the footage of the D-Day landings. The Germans had used it to shoot at the Canadians, but the Queen's own rifles pushed through, took and held the battered building. The first in France to be liberated on D-Day. A beacon then, and 80 years later, the Canadians still come.
The people who live in Bernières-sur-Mer tell the story that when Canadian veterans have returned to this spot on Juno Beach, the place where they landed on June 6, 1944, often they will ask the question, what happened to the wall? Where's the huge wall that protected them from the German fire that was coming from that house right there, the house that the Canadians ultimately liberated? Well, it turns out the wall hasn't been destroyed. It's not gone. It's just that the beach has reclaimed it. And if you dig even a little, it's all still there. So the sands have shifted, but the beach still holds the evidence of D-Day all these years later.
Adrian will host the National from Juno Beach June 4th to June 6th. She'll also host a live special across our TV networks on the morning of that 80th anniversary of D-Day. Next, a piece of history found off the coast of Florida.
An American Mastodon tusk, especially ones that size and that good a shape, are incredibly rare.
How a diver made the discovery in our moment. You're looking at a couple of divers holding a prehistoric fossil, a tusk that belonged to an American mastodon, the distant relative of the elephant. The tusk was discovered by one of the divers just off the coast of Florida, and his rare finding makes our moment.
Out of the corner of my eye, like up against this reef, I just saw this thin little piece of looked like tree bark sticking out. So I start fanning it, And it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And I just pull up as hard as I can, and the whole thing just comes out of the sand in one piece. It is an American Mastodon tusk. The age of it, it's, anywhere from 10,000 to, I think, maybe 1.5 million years old. Tusks in Florida are, especially ones that size and that good of shape, are incredibly rare. I showed my parents, I opened up the trunk of my car and I'm like, hey, you guys got to see what I found. And they're like, that's a piece of wood. And I'm like, no, it's a tusk. One of our dive buddies luckily happens to be a paleontologist, and he met us in the parking lot and took a look at it. I told my girlfriend, it's a family tusk now. Our kids will inherit this tusk, our grandkids, hopefully it stays in the family and nobody sells it.
That's right. Some wills, you get the house, you get the car, but no, you get an American Mastodon tusk, which apparently was 4 feet long and about 60 pounds or 27 kilos. So no wonder his parents didn't believe this discovery. That is our show for this evening. Thank you for being with us. You can watch us anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app or subscribe to the National's YouTube channel. I'm Erica Johnson. Take care.